Hello there. Welcome to this leadership simulation. I will be your guide throughout the experience. You are the new manager at the company. You have a team to manage, stakeholders to delight, and goals to achieve. This training will simulate a 4-week period. You'll be measured on the application of appropriate leadership aligned to your competencies. I will now walk you through your dashboard where you will be working from. Please click on the navigation tour when you are ready. This is the dashboard you'll be working from. This holds key information you will need to assess during your simulation. You'll be measured on these key metrics. Volume depicts the quantum of work allotted to you. Completed will show the work your team has done, and accuracy will show the correctness of your delivered jobs. Time progress slider will show your progress across 4 weeks. Here is the team you will manage. You'll be able to see their motivation levels and results they are able to deliver at the job at hand. When you click on the Action tab, you can engage in their key activities with them. When you click to manage their time, you'll see the tasks for your team members. You can rationalize their tasks. Here are your stakeholders that you'll be reporting to. You'll be able to see how they are currently feeling towards you. Here is your task panel. From here, you'll be able to manage all tasks. That is, delegate tasks to your team members, prioritize your tasks, and push back when required. Be mindful that all activity you perform will have impact on others and the overall ecosystem. This is the Events panel. Here you will see all events as they happen. Your simulation is starting. All the best.
So this is the first event. It says, hi Aman, first things first, let's meet with your team. So we say, okay. Now these are the team members that have been assigned to me. I click on each team member to get to know a little bit about them. So now the event panel says, hey, great job. You are well aware of the disk profiling that we use in the organization to better understand others. Now we will try to assign appropriate disk profile to each of the team members basis the brief that you've read about them. So I'm going to just randomly select certain profiles for each one of those. So after the disk profile has been assigned or identified, then I have to, the event panel says, hey, let's now select the leadership strategy for each of the team members. Now at this phase, we are using the situational leadership 2 model, in which basis the disk profile and basis the tenure of each person in the process, we are going to decide what kind of leadership strategy would each of these people need. So let's say Kunal, I can keep him in the coaching style of leadership. For Ravi, I can give him a supporting style. For Ajay, because he's a tenured team member, so I can keep him on delegating. And Rohini, who's still new, I'm going to keep her in directing style of leadership. Now, all the things that I'm doing here is going to have an impact on my week, because Rohini now, who I have assigned to the directing style of leadership, is likely to come back to me for my directions on certain tasks. Similarly, Kunal, who I have assigned coaching style of leadership, will expect certain coaching time from me. So basis all the inputs that I am giving here, my simulation will be impacted. So now it says, hey Aman, let's now get to meet your stakeholders and get to know them better. So here are my two stakeholders. He's Robert and he's Chris. So I have to be aware that both Robert and Chris are feeling differently towards me as of now, and I have to take care of that. So here is my first event of the day. This is Kunal, who's just come up to me and says that, hi, I'm not happy with how Ravi behaved recently in the last call. He overshadowed and took credit for the work that was not his. It happened in front of you and you were aware of the things that I had done, but you did not intervene. I have lost faith in this place. So, a great way to start the Monday morning. Here are some of the options that I can choose to take care of this situation. The first option is to diagnose root cause. Now, I can choose to do this. The moment I will go into this, what's going to happen is that I will need to spend some time in this diagnosis. I already see that my timing here left for me is 37 hours out of the 40 in this week. And if I choose to do this right away, then I will have 2 hours deducted from my available time. Or what I can do is I can tell Kunal to come back later. Now, Kunal here, as I can see that his motivation levels are already low. So if I ask Kunal to come back later, he might take offense to that because he's already at a low motivation level, and that might crop up as an event for me later where he could be looking at writing from the company. What I can also do is I can give constructive feedback to Ravi. Now, as per the situation, it seems that the manager is aware of what Ravi's doing was. If he chooses to do that, then what's going to happen is that although Ravi is in a good motivation level, so his motivation level will not get impacted. However, Kunal, who's on a low motivation level, his motivation level will improve. So what's really happening here is that as we have decided on these options, each of the option is going to impact all these variables between Ravi and Kunal, and that is going to have an impact on the simulation. Or I can give, or one of the other options is that I can give corrective feedback to Kunal. Now, Kunal is in a low motivation level. If I give corrective feedback to him with something like, Kunal, you're a grown-up guy, you can take care of your own things. Why don't you go and speak to Ravi and have this sorted out amongst yourself? So I can very well do that, but I have to now be aware that given that Kunal is not in a good motivation level, is that the option that I will choose? So for me personally, I would go with something like this where I give constructive feedback to Ravi. So as soon as I clicked on it, you saw that the mood level of Kunal, jumped up a little bit, but for Ravi, the mood level stayed constant. So as I take care of that, here is a mail in my inbox from Robert. Now, Robert, I know, is my stakeholder who's not feeling very well towards me. So here is what he says. Hi, Aman. It's been a bumper a bumper season for the client, and I need to take on some more work of 15 more hours. And my support is always there with you. So just reach out to me for anything. Now, what do? I have some options. First is that I take what Robert is giving me and I just add it to my task. The second is that I can push back and set expectations. Now, I know that I only have limited time and limited resources. So given that if my plate is full, then I might push back on some of the things that Robert is telling me to do, and I can set expectations. Or the third part which I can do is I can pacify and do partial work. So I can understand from Robert what it is that he wants me to do, and then pick up the pieces that are most important for him that needs to get done, and take care of those for now. So let me just select this one for now. So I see Robert's mood has increased just a little bit because I made that conversation with him. So here is another event, and this is the personal one. So, hi Aman, you promised to take your child for a piano recital at the amphitheater. What are you going to do? Now, this is actually simulating a real work-life day. So there are two options. One is that I can let them know, let my family know that I can't make it. If I choose to do that, what's going to happen is that it's going to impact my mood, because I could not keep the word I gave to my own child and family. But it's going to let my time stay intact, available for work. Or I can, if I choose the other option, which is take your child, so my mood will, my motivation in life will increase a little bit, but I will lose on to 2 hours for completing this activity that I had earlier promised. So you can also manage your tasks. Please click on the manage task icon that you will see on the dashboard. Please click OK to reveal icon. So in this case, I will plan to take my child. So as soon as I clicked on it, you saw that my mood increased a little bit, and the time available for me to do the rest of the task has got decreased by 2 hours. Okay, here is another event, and this is Chris coming to me, and he says, "Hi Aman, there has been a mishap. The client has found gross irregularities in the way the process is being followed. We need to discuss this and identify the cause and put corrective action in place." Now I have two options to take care of this. One is that I can diagnose it with my team first, get to know, get up to speed with what has happened in this case and where are we, what did we do, and things like that. Second is I can do a call with the stakeholder to understand issues. Now this is a tricky one. What should be the right option for me? So if I diagnose with my team first, then it allows me to have information to feed to Chris when I have a discussion with him without going back to my team. So I would be more up to speed if I diagnose it first with my team. So let me just click on that. So I'm into a different situation now, where the manager, which is the role that I am playing, and Kunal, one of the team members who was handling the issue, are now having a conversation basis the feedback received from the stakeholder. So it says what's been happening for Chris's deliveries. So Kunal says, "Sir, we've been doing our job. They changed the format last month and we made changes in our reports, and again they changed the format last week. We sent the report as per the earlier format, as we could not have changed the format before sending out the report. That may have caused the problem. So what is it that I can do now? I have to take care of that." So here are some options available for me. I can give corrective feedback to Kunal. So the corrective feedback could be on the lines of, "Kunal, we knew that the new format has come in. We should have ideally communicated with the client that it's not in the format that was last updated. It is still in the earlier format. Is that going to be okay with you?" So I could do an option like that, or I can write a mail explaining this to Chris, that what had exactly happened. And the third option is I can get the information and get into a call with Chris. So with this information now with me, I can now decide to get into a call. But here, as the situation demands, I'm going to give corrective feedback to Kunal for not being able to do that communication with the client. Okay, here is another event. Your peer is moving out of the company and a farewell party is being organized, and they need volunteers to set up the bash. Would you spare some hours to help it set up? Now, this is a tricky one again. What is it that you do? Do you save on to your time and invest that in work, or do you want to do something about it? So here are some options. It's an email that's come and hit my inbox. So I can choose to ignore. I can send an email to the outgoing colleague wishing him all the best, or I could volunteer. So for now, given the situation and the my situation with stakeholders and things not going well, this is what I may choose to do. Now, all of this that I am doing is going to have an impact, because if I choose to just ignore this email and don't show up at the event, then my peers are going to look at me from that lens, and if I need any help from any of my peers, then that becomes difficult to get, because I am not seen by my action as a good comrade. So here we go. This is the end of week 1 skill report. So we've got the various skills or competencies listed here, and we've got the scores that each of my action has depicted or has added on to each of these competencies. So this gives me a very good dipstick as to how I am doing as a leader, and what more would I need to do or be careful of in my week 2.